In a recent video, I shared that the cushion on the wicker bench on our front porch was in dire need of updating. And here I am taking some measurements because I thought, what a better way than for July 4th to do a complete porch makeover. And I need the measurements to choose the fabric. At Joann's, there's so many fabrics. I have to say that I didn't like a lot of them, but then I finally settled on a darker fabric because I thought it would be more stain resistant, and a lighter fabric for piping, which I'm going to show you in this video how I'm going to make this. So first I'm threading my machine here, and this is not a tutorial on how to sew, but it's just always good to start from the beginning, and I want to show you that it's actually pretty easy if you know just a few things about a sewing machine and just have a few skills, that you can really make a lot of easy projects and work your way up to updating a bench cushion. I often procrastinate around projects because I am worried that I'm not sure how to do this. And so the first thing here I'm doing is creating the piping. I simply cut a 2-inch wide long strip, and I had to sew a few together and then added piping cord to that. And I'm just folding it over, keeping the piping cord in the middle to create the piping for the bench cushion. Next, I need to cut my pieces. I have already cut the top and the bottom piece for the bench cushion, and now I'm cutting the side pieces. And obviously I'm still taking my time here because even though I have done this many times before, it's been a while, and I always worry that I might not exactly know how to do it or make a mistake. So I'm still going a little slower here to just kill some time and keep busy before I'm going to actually start with the next thing, and that's going to be cutting into the fabric, which is often the scariest part for me because once you cut, there's no going back, and I hate to waste fabric. I mean, you know, the fabric store is only 10 minutes from my house, if even, and they have really generous hours. It's Joann's fabric store, but I don't know. I just always feel like I want to get it right the first time. So that's why I'm taking my time. And I guess I'm also a little nervous because I'm on video, and I know that I can't easily undo mistakes. So here I'm cutting the pieces, and then I'm attaching the piping to the bottom piece or the top piece. It doesn't really matter so much, with some pins here. And one of the tricks you see the back here, I have a bit of a curved outline, and then I have the fronts where I have to do a 90 degrees. So for the curved, you just cut the fabric, not the piping actually, but the fabric in a little bit, and that allows you to easily bend the piping cord and go around the corner here, which is pretty nifty. And sewing is so much about not really having a lot of talent or skills, but just knowing these little tricks, and you wouldn't know them necessarily unless you have done it for a while or you have checked out some tutorials. And while this is not a full tutorial, I'm sharing some of the few tips here that I find super helpful. So you can see that I can allow to follow this curve here, and the piping makes it look really nice and stand out and adds a little extra to it. I could have just done the whole cushion without piping, but I always feel like it's so worth to take the extra time to do this and to add the piping. I have done it to my dirndl dresses, the German dirndl dresses. I'm going to leave a link for those in the description box if you want to try sewing your own dress. See how it comes around the corner? Really nice. So that's what I'm doing, and I like to add a lot of pins to keep everything in place so there's no shifting once you start sewing your pieces together. Which is what I'm doing here. I'm going slow. I do have a zipper foot which allows me to sew really close to one side, and I'm gonna give you a little close up here to show you that I'm sewing really close to the actual piping cord to make that look very clean and neat. Here I'm coming around the front right-hand corner of the bench cushion, and again the key is to go slow. Sometimes I like to keep the needle in, lift the foot, and then bring the foot back down and do another stitch or two. It's slow going, but it's always worth to go slow because then you can easily avoid making mistakes. Sometimes you have to move fabric around and move it from one side to the next. Now you can see the piping is already here. I have attached the side pieces here, and I'm going to go around and attach the sides all the way to create this bench cushion. My dog here loves to hang out with me, and I don't know, she just loves to be there and supervise all my activities, so I think she's very cute. Before I continue, I just want to make sure that everything fits the way I want it to, and I put the insert on our bed and draped the cushion cover over it, and it looks fine. I want to pull it in place. It's always going to feel a little tight when you do it because fabric will stretch a little bit. And no, I did not wash this. They don't recommend washing this, so I'm just going to use it straight off the bolt. Now for the final step here, almost the final step, I'm attaching the bottom and the top pieces here to the side, and again lots of pins, lots of pinning in place, and keeping the piping in the middle. I am using a denim needle because, as you can see, I have at least 4 layers there, and then sometimes when there is a little seam I might even have 6 layers or 5 layers depending on what you're counting. And a denim foot, a denim needle allows you to sew that pretty nicely, and if you're a regular sewer, you know that needles come in different strengths and widths and tips designed to actually make the job a whole lot easier. Sewing the pieces together, and again I have to go slow because there's a lot going on, and sometimes fabric will bunch up underneath here. Even though I have it on the outside of my machine, I got to be really careful. I have done that in the past. I don't know about you, but I have actually finished the project, turned it outside in, and then all of a sudden I had a wrinkle that I had sewn in place or something else that wasn't quite right, and I had to undo everything and start all over again. So I want to avoid that as much as possible. Now we need to put the insert into the cover, and you can see it's pretty tight. I left a generous opening, but also this whatever you wrap the foam in stops the fabric a little bit. So we're going to go slow, but it has a good feel, and I'm pretty confident that it's going to look okay. And in the last step, I just need to figure out a way how to close the side. Now you can do that either with a zipper, which is a little bit more involved, or I could have done some Velcro, but I am just going to pin it into place and then hand stitch it, because for the most part I don't think we will take this cover off and just leave it in place, and if I ever have to, I can very easily cut the hand stitch part open. It's a little bit out of the frame, sorry for that. I try to do my best to have everything I'm doing in the middle of the frame so that you can easily see what I'm doing, but sometimes, I don't know, my camera shifts around, or I'm not really estimating where I'm going to be with what I'm doing. So you can see how I'm sewing the piece shut. Let's see how it works out. It fits perfectly. It is a little longer. It sticks out in front, which was my intention. And I love the fabric because it's not going to show dirt very easily. And then I found these cushions. I was going to sew some cushion covers for some cushion inserts that I had, but they had these at Joann's on sale for, I don't know, a few dollars each. And I thought, that's great. And later, once July 4th is gone, I can either make another cover or turn them around because they have a front side and a back side. They also had this garland, which is obviously a little short, but that was also on sale and I just couldn't resist. We often hang something there around the front door. Either it's it looks like a needle wreath for Advent and Christmas, and this one is just the July 4th colors. And I have 2 nails up there, trying to get it pretty even here. The sides are kind of hanging down funny, but I think it still looks pretty cute and festive, which I wanted for our front porch to be. Then we also have some flowers here, some white flowers to stay with the color scheme. And I found this little bouquet of stars here that I can put in the flower pot to make it look even a little bit more festive. And this is I think it's a copper pot. It's missing one of the handles and that needs to be soldered on. Another thing for my husband on his to-do list, which I know he's always super excited about. Adding a little greenery. Let's see if it looks better on the shelf above. I don't think so, so we're going to move it back down. Green always makes all the other colors pop and look so fresh and updated, and yeah, I think it's just fantastic. And I will add some greens here to the front of the porch. It may be a little bit too sunny for those, but we'll see how they hold up. And here's the finished porch. I couldn't be happier. It's all decked out for July 4th and cleaned up. This table also needs a little bit of cleaning. I might just spray paint it white to match our wicker bench. Also, our dog gets a little bandana that she gets every year. We save it, wash it, and keep it. And she gets that around her neck to be a 4th of July puppy. I know we call her puppy even though she's almost 13 years old. She is the darndest, sweetest dog that you can imagine. She's just so great. We love her dearly. And then we have this bell that came with the house. It's missing a few parts. It's missing the thing that's actually makes a sound, and it's missing the attachment, but I'm sure my husband would love another job, another thing on his to-do list, and I would love to see this bell actually work in action, and it could just be hanging here probably like it was intended to. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you have questions. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you in the next video.